Okay, we're going to In-N-Out. Here we go. No hands, no feet. This is my new channel, and I've dedicated it to Tesla because I bought a new 2025 all-wheel drive Tesla, and it's awesome. It's a Model 3, and got cameras all around, built-in security features. Pretty awesome, like having cameras all around the car at all times that I can check anytime, and it records automatically whatever I want it to. So in this video, we're going to go over the things that I do and don't like about the vehicle, just kind of off the top of the head kind of stuff. I wrote down maybe 40 things that I really like, and I think about 20 or so things that I don't like about it, or that I'm still getting used to. You know, you have to keep in mind when coming from a traditional vehicle, you know, certain changes are more, they just take a little bit of time to get used to, rather than their actual negatives. Because once you get used to them, it's kind of, you don't want to go back. I do race professionally. I sim race professionally, let me clarify. So simulation racing. Obviously myself and my own entertainment, but I also do it for certain companies that I'm sponsored by and that I review products for. So I am a professional driver, but just not in the typical sense. The reason I got this Tesla, the main reason, is because I don't like driving anymore. Now I do like racing, but I don't like driving. The monotony of driving from point A to point B when you just try to get somewhere. That's the thing that bothers me the most. The thing that I don't want to do anymore. You know, I don't want to be stuck in traffic, you know, and have to be like, move forward an inch, move forward an inch, and then be responsible for that, because you don't need to be. With full self-driving, it's literally, you don't need to drive anymore. And it takes a huge stress off the driver. And I mean, you technically, legally still have to pay attention, right? You know, and there's a camera in here watching me, making sure that my eyes are forward and looking around and making sure like I'm doing things, I'm paying attention. Now, it is expensive, right? This technology is not cheap technology, but what you get, you know, you end up getting a lot of peace of mind. You get a lot of value out of it, because you basically bought a professional driver for the lifetime of the vehicle. And the next Tesla you get too, if you end up upgrading, your FSD can be transferred. That's the big one. Another big thing is that it's electric. You know, I'm tired of having to go to the emissions. I'm tired of having to go to the gas station. I'm tired of a lot of like little things that I'm used to doing, but I'm just, now that I know about full self-driving cars, electric cars, I just really been re-evaluating what it is I actually like about driving. And there's almost nothing that I enjoy about driving anymore. And I'm not speaking for everybody. I'm just saying, like, racing is fun, right? In a real car, in a simulated car, whatever. Racing is a lot of fun, you know, just tearing it up. But driving, in my opinion, is tedious. It's something that you can completely avoid with the right technology. So we have it now, and it's available to everybody that's willing to, at the very least, pay $200 a month. You know, if you want to lease a Tesla, right? And you can do it for cheaper if you lease like certain used ones in certain areas. There's a lot of different deals going on right now. And of course you have car dealerships too that might be able to compete with that. I don't know, but directly from Tesla, it's around $200, $300 a month to lease a brand new 2025 Model 3. There was times I was kind of hesitant. I was like, I don't know if the technology is quite there yet to where I want to invest in it. But now it's there. Robotaxi was proof of that for me. The interior design, when it comes to the features of the car, everything kind of has more like hidden practicality than a normal car, right? Like the air conditioning system is like way more future thinking than I've ever seen in any other car. As a matter of fact, the entire dashboard is pretty much dedicated to just the air conditioner and some lighting and stuff like that. That's more for visual splendor. These are charging for your phone. You just set your phone down there and it starts supercharging your phone, you know, fast charging it. All the little compartments here, like they all just kind of make sense, you know. You know, we have storage all over the place. You got good storage on the sides here. You got storage in the front where the engine would be, obviously, in a normal car. And you have storage in the rear, like plenty of storage. And there's even a compartment underneath the regular panel. And it has, you know, even more room for more goodies. Everything about the car is customizable. You know, when it comes to the sound you hear, like you can raise and lower the sounds for like the blinkers. The seats up front are heated and cooled. You know, there's a little air conditioner built into the seats. The back seats have heated seats, but no air conditioning. There's a full infotainment center in the back as well, so you can play video games. You can hook up a Bluetooth controller and play built-in video games on your car. The speakers are amazing in here. It has the best sounding car stereo from the factory I've ever heard. In this car, you have plenty of bass. It has tons of bass. Like, it has thumping bass, and it has a lot of spatial audio features too to make it even more immersive. It has a lot of fun little features too, like, you know, you can set your seats to fart, like, so when someone comes in the car and sits down, like, you can have their seat fart. It has a ton of safety features, and it's one of the safest cars that I know about in terms of all the safety features it has. The crash ratings are good. It does have some physical controls on the steering wheel here, and so you still have access to your windshield wipers, your blinkers, your car audio, you know, skipping and going back to a song that you like, adjusting your FSD speed. Like, there's a lot of features built in. You know, you can adjust your mirrors from here manually. I would have never expected to be excited about mirrors on a car, but the mirrors are amazing. When you get out of the car, they automatically fold in. You can actually turn that off if you don't want it to do that, but if you're parked in a city or something like that, you don't have to worry about, you know, manually doing that. They darken at night, right? So the entire image darkens at night without you doing anything, and it makes it to where you don't get blinded by headlights at night by your mirrors. And they also tilt. They tilt up and down based on your positioning in the vehicle. Like, or let's say you're reversing, they'll tilt down so you can see like certain things on the ground, or if it thinks you should see something, you know, they'll tilt automatically. You can turn all that stuff on and off and adjust it as well, just like pretty much anything. But it's so cool to have your mirrors be smart too. Like, the car has something called preconditioning. You know, you can set however many times of day you want to set your car for the right temperature you want it to be, or to defrost your car at a certain time. You know, there's a lot of features built in too for like winter mode, like, you know, to get extra traction out of your vehicle, to let it know, like, hey, expect some, you know, wet weather, stuff like that. The frunk and the trunk are both motorized on this version. It's got built in, like, you know, YouTube and stuff like that. So of course it has like movie mode, so so if you're parked, you can watch a movie. In the future, when FSD becomes fully unsupervised, you'll be able to watch a movie on this pretty decent sized screen while you're driving. You know, that's pretty cool. We're just in a roundabout right now. I stopped filming because I was gonna get out to eat some In-N-Out, but then I realized I got food at home. Just doing its thing. The one pedal operation is kind of something that I didn't like at first, but now that I'm using it more when I do drive, which is very rarely, but when I do drive, I'm actually pleasantly surprised by how intuitive it is. And, you know, the car automatically starts braking when you let off the throttle, which kind of makes sense because that's what you're kind of already doing. At first, you might have some difficulty getting used to it. After you do get used to it, it's something that you kind of feel is missing from other cars. It does have a traditional brake as well, so for emergency purposes, you know, if you need to actually hammer on the brakes, you can. You really don't need to if you're just like doing stop and go traffic, you know, stopping at a stoplight. You don't need to touch the brake at all when you come to a stop. The car brakes enough, and you can adjust that too. Like, it doesn't have to be like that. Another cool thing is the fact that it's so quiet. Not just because it's an EV, but the suspension is quiet. Just the overall car is just quiet, and it's really impressive how smooth the car feels. Really eye-opening to me because I've been driving it in a pretty older car. So going from an older car to like a brand new, basically luxury car, has been an eye-opening experience. Just how much more comfortable you can be in a car when you're traveling, and how much more comfortable can you be than sitting in an air-conditioned seat with not driving at all, because you don't have to drive, with the awesome stereo and the most comfortable suspension that I've ever felt in a car. I don't know how much better it gets than that. The seats are really comfortable too. The things that I don't like about it, because I've been kind of just talking great about it, right? Things I don't like about it. The door handles take some getting used to. Now that I'm used to them, they're not really so much a super negative feature about the car. They look awesome, but I can see some potential issues if the car freezes. But again, I've also had issues with my door handles freezing on my regular cars. So I don't know, but we'll see what happens this winter. See if it's really a problem or not. There is a little bit of stigma that comes with owning a Tesla, and you feel it. You feel it from others. If people don't like Elon Musk, or if they don't like Donald Trump, or they don't like just Tesla for some reason, you feel it. And the best way that I found to deal with that is to take them for a test drive, and they're literally like, oh wow, this is the best car I've ever been in. Like, I can't believe like this technology exists, and I can't believe most other cars aren't like this already. Like, it's like driving in the future. 4 people that were heavily hating on Elon Musk, Tesla, just the whole thing in general, I've converted them to loving Tesla and maybe wanting to buy one. So just by taking them for a test drive and then showing them FSD, showing them the practicality of all these cool features, you know, kind of explain to them like, hey, you know, let's say you're elderly, you don't have to drive anymore. You don't need a driver's license eventually once this becomes unsupervised, right? You get drunk, put it in drunk mode, right? There is no drunk mode right now, but in the future when this is unsupervised, there will be something like that, drunk mode, right? Like when you're drunk, your car's features of driving it are disabled, but you can still enter it to go to a location, like say your home. You know, maybe there'll be restrictions on where you can go if you're in drunk mode. Like, I don't know, but there's a lot of cool things in the future that'll be over-the-air updates, I guarantee it, that'll blow our minds in the future. And that's another benefit of this car, is like, to upgrade your car, you just literally download an update, and then you have a bunch of new features in your car. But the stigma is definitely real. You know, I've only had one instance where someone kind of was aggressive with me on the road, and this stuff will fade as time goes on, but right now, this is 2025, it's still kind of fresh in people's mind. Someone cut me off aggressively with a bumper sticker that says, F you, Elon. You know, I personally like Elon Musk a lot, and I think he does great things, but that's my opinion, and from my own research, you know, you all are free to feel however you feel, but in my opinion, it's easy to separate the politics and, you know, one person's decisions from this vehicle. Right? This vehicle, you can appreciate this vehicle, you can own this vehicle, you can love this vehicle, without needing to get into politics, to take a side. I love or hate Elon Musk. You don't need to do that. All you need to do is just hop in this car and experience it, and you'll be like, oh, okay, you know, Tesla might be onto something. Engineers are doing a pretty good job. I'm trying to think of any other negatives. I have a list of positives and negatives. Maybe I'll put it in the description or something like that. Things that I personally like and dislike about the vehicle. But off the top of my head, it's really hard to really think about the negatives, especially like when you're enjoying yourself every time you go for a drive now. And it's not just because it's new, right? Because I've been in a lot of new cars that don't make me feel like this. This makes me feel like I said, like I'm in the future. And there's not many cars that make me feel like that. And I don't think too many cars out there exist, at least from other manufacturers, that make you feel that. No other car has excited me as much as this car. Like when I took a test drive, and I immediately said to the person I went with, my buddy Shelton, I was like, I'm buying this car. Like, I'm buying this car. There's no question in my mind that I want this. It's just a question if my credit is good enough to get a loan, or if, you know, Tesla themselves will approve whatever loan I can get to try to get a hold of this car. And luckily, like, I got my approval back in like 3 minutes, and they're like, you're approved. And I'm like, whoa. I ordered my car online from my phone and just went and picked it up. I mean, the process was simple as hell. There's some paperwork that, you know, like I had to show a picture of my ID and stuff like that. Some paperwork that I had to sign at the dealership. It doesn't have to be at a dealership, by the way. You know, I could have had it delivered to my house. You know, there's a lot of options. And then coming soon, It's already actually been demonstrated, but soon your car will just drive to you when you buy one. So you buy one and you just pick your destination you want it dropped off at, and it'll drive to you with no passenger, nobody in the vehicle. It just drives to your house and then parks out front, and there's your new car. You know, so that's coming in the future, like available to everybody, but it has been demonstrated, and so many things to be excited about. My wife hated Tesla. She hates Tesla. She hates Elon Musk. She hates all the politics and stuff like that. And she was in love with the car. Like, as soon as, look at it, you just saw this guy started slowing down, because it knows everything that's going on better than you do. You know, it can see behind the car, the side of the car, in front of the car. There's plenty of cameras checking out every angle of this car. Anyway, basically what I'm saying here is, if you can afford it, even if you can't afford it, go at least test drive a Tesla. It's free. You just go to a Tesla dealership, say, hey, I want to drive this car. You just give them a picture of your ID, and then you drive whatever car you want. The Cybertruck, the Model Y, the Model 3, whatever you want. The S, X, anything you want. You can drive it. You can test out FSD. So you don't have to wait for Robotaxi to come here to try it out. You can just go to any Tesla dealership and test out the technology for yourself. So anyway, go try it out. I really enjoy this car. So have a good day. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video.